franchise, you would normally lose. I mean, you would do what Tennessee would do. You'd outplay somebody and lose. You got outplayed and won. That never happens in Chicago. So, but that's about it for the good news. Here's two things I worry about with the Bears. Caleb Williams has got to get more accurate. 3 times last year at Southern California, he completed under 58% of his throws. He only completed 50% of his throws in the preseason, and he completed yesterday 48%. He's got to get more accurate quick. All right, like that, period. And what concerns me, he doesn't have a McVay or a Shanahan or a Sean Payton or an Andy Reid to smooth out the rough edges. He just doesn't. So Chicago averaged 2.8 yards a play yesterday. That was worst in the league. And Tennessee's defense is good. It's not that good. So, listen, I get it. All the young quarterbacks struggled. But I thought Bo Nix was better than everybody thinks. But I get it. And I also get that Geno Smith was good, and Derek Carr was good, and Sam Darnold was good, and Baker Mayfield was good. And time on task matters a lot in this league. And I picked Tennessee to win this game during the Blazing Five Friday. I said this is going to be much more turbulent. And I also pointed out Friday, I said his accuracy is erratic. It was in college. It was in the preseason. But the difference is when Mahomes was erratic, he had Reed. And by the way, Russell Wilson last year with Sean Payton had his best year in 2 years. And Bo Nix was accurate yesterday. This is a defensive culture. It's a defensive head coach. Does he have a strong offensive coordinator to sandpaper the edges? Because the accuracy, which was, in fairness, all the people I talked to about Caleb, that was the concern. Leadership's good. Athletic ability's good. Size, power, arm, all that stuff. But I wonder. Now, it's not like Will Levis bad where you don't even know if he can play in this league. Like, I think Will Levis is too mechanical. I don't think he's fluid enough. I don't think it works. Daniel Jones, not talented enough. Bryce Young just doesn't look strong and accurate enough. I don't think it's that situation where you're watching and you're wondering, man, that just doesn't work at all. That may never work. But yesterday, the Bears, they got too many offensive weapons to have a 42 passer rating on third down. That's bad. And again, I said it was going to be turbulent, and I picked the Titans to win this game, but I didn't think the oxygen masks would have to drop and the stewardesses would be screaming in terror. They barely landed the plane, and they got kind of lucky to land the plane because if Will Levis didn't make arguably the worst quarterback decision I've ever seen in my life, they lose this game and are anemic offensively. So, again, it's all these young guys struggle. But I had said this months ago in the draft. Jaden Daniels has a defensive coach. And Caleb Williams has a defensive coach. And Michael Penix has a defensive coach. Bo Nix has an offensive coach. And I thought Bo Nix yesterday had a bad pick, wasn't great. But I do think it matters because all these guys are hitting that ball in the rough. How do you get it? Even Mahomes early was amazing, but his mechanics would go sideways. He would be reckless and sloppy. Andy would get him back in the fairway. And here was Caleb Williams on his debut.
I sat down, enjoyed the moment, and just watching all the guys celebrate, understand that I need to be better, I will be better. Whether it's a win or loss, you expect yourself to play a certain way. You expect yourself to go out there and perform a certain way. That didn't happen today, and so, it's enough motivation for me. We're going to, somebody else's home this week. And so, it's enough motivation for me to go out there, get better this week. And make sure that, I perform differently next week.
Okay, now, it gets much tougher. They go from Will Levis and at home to C.J. Stroud at Houston Sunday night. So that's a big primetime game. This schedule now gets interesting for the next couple of weeks.
See, and this is what I tried to call out before. I'm going to let the rest of the clip play, though there's not much more left about it. But this is what I said, that this is a lot harder. Everyone kept acting like that this schedule is so easy in the beginning, and then it's hard at the end. And I said the Texans aren't easy, the Colts aren't easy, the Rams aren't easy, and quite frankly, the Jaguars aren't going to be easy. And it seems like the Cardinals aren't going to be easy. And who knows, the Commanders might get things going as well with Jaden Daniels. And then now the Patriots, they had a hard-fought win somehow. But then it's going to get back. The Packers, Jordan Love, hopefully will be back. And then Minnesota Vikings look potent. And the Lions, definitely. The 49ers. So, this schedule is pretty brutal. Colin tried to paint before that it was a very easy schedule in the beginning and that they gave the Bears a gift, and then it's at the back end that it's hard. And it's like, this schedule is definitely not easy.
So again, we knew the flight was going to be bumpy. I said before, I worry about the culture, not Caleb. How do you sandpaper this stuff? Because you can't have a 42 passer rating on third down with those weapons at home on a perfect weather day. Here comes the bad weather in 6 weeks. Here come the great defenses. Sunday night at Houston's going to be a totally different environment. In fact, I like the Texans big in that game.
Okay, so let's talk about this now. Let's break this down more. Listen, you can't sugarcoat it. Caleb did not play his best game. But before I really kind of go in the analysis, I got to address a couple things. Mainly the fact that people are using this game as a means to say that, see, I told you Caleb is a bust, that he was overhyped, overrated, all this. And that is such nonsense. That is such absurd insanity. It's week 1, his rookie year, his first game ever. Why do you think everything is supposed to just be flawless from day one? For people who think that he was just going to step on the field and immediately be better than Patrick Mahomes, sure, that was overhyped, right? Nick Wright being one of the only random people who said that he's going to go to the Super Bowl and win the MVP and blah, 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 right? Yeah, that was nonsense overhyped. But the random casual fan that kept saying, oh, he's overrated, he's not that good, and using this game as an indicator, as proof, as, I told you he's going to be a bust, I told you he's not good, it's insanity to me. It's insanity. It's absurd. I'm getting comments all day and yesterday about, oh, I told you he's overhyped, I told you he's not that good, I told you, and it's like, what are you talking about? It was one game. Quarterbacks all around the NFL struggled. All around the NFL. Seasoned veterans struggled. Okay? Completely. Yes, I agree. Caleb could have absolutely played better. But let's make no mistake about it. Plenty of quarterbacks struggle. Patrick Mahomes threw, an interception, could have easily been 2. Lamar Jackson, turnovers. Jalen Hurts, turnovers. Jordan Love, turnovers. I mean, it was endless turnovers. All quarterbacks. Only a handful of them didn't turn the ball over. So I'm just not going to lose too much sleep. But one of my biggest takeaways were that there was no easy plays for Caleb. This is where I feel as though the Chicago Bears failed him more than he failed the Bears. There was no easy plays for him. They never got Caleb going with just easy plays, easy completions. There was no momentum building. They never really established a concrete run game, never opened up the field. It was kind of like, hey, Caleb, I know things are kind of going bad. Let's just see if you can try your best to make do. And it's like, who's gonna succeed in that position? No quarterback, let alone a rookie, let alone his first game ever. So to me, as bad as Caleb played, I actually lean more on coaching more than anything. It's not like Caleb had wide open players and was just missing them like crazy. It's not like Caleb was just holding on the ball way too long and was taking terrible sacks. Don't get me wrong. Those things happened to a degree, but that wasn't the foundation why he didn't play well. That's the difference for me. And I'm not going to blame it all on coaching necessarily, but I think the game plan could have been better. I really do. They obviously got lucky. The offense for the Titans and the defense for the Bears, is what really how the Bears won in the first place. His confidence kind of unraveled as the game went on because they didn't do anything to kind of build him back up to get him any easy plays. And this was always my concern when I said, listen, if Caleb goes 3 and out, if Caleb takes a bad sack, how does he come back the next drive? That's how you're going to learn. That's how you're going to grow. And then I also said that Caleb absolutely needs to get punched in the face. He needs to get rocked. And I think this is a great outcome because this game did not go as planned. And he knows it. He knows it to his core. He's not dumb at all. And yet they still came away with a win, which is like the best case scenario in a lot of ways. Honestly, from a long-term perspective, this is the best case scenario. Better than him balling out immediately. Because he balls out immediately or has a great game, he's just going to keep feeling himself. He's just going to be like, I told you I am unstoppable. I told you I am for real. He now knows this is harder than I realized. This is taking a lot of work. I guarantee you he is excited to come into work this next day and start looking at that tape. Working with Shane, being like, what went wrong? What do I need to do? I thought I could do this. I realized I can't. What do I do in this situation? It's a great scenario. They're going to get to work. The unfortunate thing is that all that work is going up against the Texans this week, which is another tough pill to swallow. That's a tough matchup. It really, really is. There's no other way to slice it. But Caleb will get better. He's going to be better. And he has a lot to work on, which is great. Because I think in the beginning of the game, they showed a lot of trust in him, right? He had a very bad throw that was on him. And then they went for it on 4th down and trusted Caleb to get it done. And he did, right? I think that shows a lot of trust. I really do. But they just unraveled. They didn't get him easy plays. You got to get a young quarterback easy plays. And this is what I said in my Chiefs-Ravens video. This is what makes the Chiefs so next level and what makes Patrick Mahomes so great is that he has Andy Reid not only to rough around the edges like Colin pointed out, and Colin's pointed that out for years, and I 100% agree with him, but it's that Andy Reid scheming, his game planning and play calling gets Patrick Mahomes some of the easiest layups in the history of the NFL. They just do. He gets players wide open for just easy give me plays. And then when the plays break down, when you need your quarterback to be historic and magical, that's when now Patrick Mahomes takes it to the next level. Sometimes you have a quarterback like a Patrick Mahomes who doesn't have a coach that can get him easy plays, so he's constantly relying on the magic. That's Josh Allen. You're constantly relying on the magic. That's brutal. That's exhausting. Very difficult to win at the highest level consistently. That's why you see it's a match made in heaven for Mahomes and Andy Reid. Because Patrick Mahomes can be magical when he needs to, and Andy Reid can set up easy plays for him that he just will not miss. So it's just this synergistic effect. I'm not expecting the coaches for the Bears to be Andy Reid, but they got to do a better job of getting him easier plays. Memory serves me correctly, because I watched this game start to finish. There was maybe 1 or 2 opportunities that I was like, okay, that was really there for Caleb, and he just really, really missed it. And that's on him. Again, of course it happened. It even happens to Patrick Mahomes to a small degree, so it's going to happen to Caleb. But I just think, I've said this now many, many times, just got to get easier plays for him. And when you do that, then you can get some momentum. Then you can get some confidence for Caleb. He can start to get more comfortable. The offense can get more comfortable. Everybody can take some breath. But this game was one of those games where I'm sure every single player was tight. Every single player. And I'm sure the coaching staff, and they could all feel it. Oh boy, we did not get off to a good start. Caleb does not look comfortable. And once you start off, once you're not really comfortable, it's really hard to recapture it. It just is. It's really hard to get your footing in this type of situation. And you can see the defense stepped up, and they were all fired up, and it's got to be very bittersweet for someone like Caleb, because they're able to win. That's what he said. They were all celebrating. They're feeling good because a lot of those guys did their job, but Caleb was, ineffective at his. So it's going to be really interesting to see him moving forward. The schedule is hard. These games are hard. There's no way to slice it. I think I've said this now for a while. I think the Colts are significantly better than people realize as they went toe to toe with the Texans. The Texans are legit. The Rams are legit. We'll see how healthy they are come time week 4. What's going on with Puka Nacua, that offensive line. The Panthers, that's the one gimme game. Colin originally said that he thinks that the NFL was trying to set up the Bears for success and that they gave him a very easy schedule on purpose. If that was the case, it would have been the Panthers game week 1. Quite frankly, okay? They did not get that luxury. But that is going to be a game that he should, by then, hopefully should feel more comfortable. I think also get his legs under him come time for the Texans and the Colts. But the Rams have potential to make him uncomfortable. And then he has the bye. It's going to be interesting. It's definitely not an easy path forward. But I do see some promise there, and I'm curious to see if they'll understand this is going to be a defensive-led team. We need to just get Caleb to be comfortable, establish the run game, move the chains, dominate the clock, time of possession, and this is maybe not the year that Caleb is going to have just all these amazing splash plays, especially because the schedule, I just don't know if it calls for it. I just don't. But those are just my thoughts. I would absolutely love to hear yours. What did you guys all think about Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears Week 1 start? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I would absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.